Hello and good night. Welcome to Campbell Talk with Matthew Graham Jackson. Tonight I have Wanda here with us from Win of Palm Beach, and we're going to introduce her and bring her in a second. I just wanted to kind of, welcome everybody in tonight and thanks for being here. And I hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. Hello, good evening, and welcome.
Good evening, Matthew. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I can't complain. In yourself?
I am doing just fabulous. And I love your jacket. I love it.
Well,
The colors, everything.
thank you. Thank you. Well, first off, thanks for being here with us tonight.
Yes.
I introduced you on the intro, but I want you to just introduce yourself and tell us and the viewers tonight a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Yes, I am the CEO of Women's Health and Education Network of Palm Beach County. And we operate under the name of Winna PBC. We're known as that in the community. We operate throughout the state of Florida. That's where our jurisdiction is. So we can service anyone throughout the state of Florida.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that and all the good that you do in the community. So, when you say services, what are some of the services that Win of PBC provides?
So, in a nutshell, what we do is case management, and we use a strength based framework where we look at the client's strengths. A lot of the clients that come to us are coming from economically um, they're coming from economic disadvantage standpoint. So what we want to do is do an assessment with them and really hone in the strengths that they have. We also take a look at where they want to be in the future. We know the position that they're in right now, but we want to look at how things would look in a best case scenario to bring them stability. And through that assessment, then we do some things in house, such as um, we can do food stamp assistance, we can do disability applications if they're dealing with a chronic disease and they need chronic disease management or some prevention educational programs, such as breast health education or HIV prevention. We can connect them as such.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's a wide range of services that you provide. Now, what made you create Win of PBC? Like, what struck that? Let me start this. Let me get in the community and let me be hands on because you're very hands on in the community.
I am. What started it was, and I spoke about this in previous interviews. It initially started with observing things early on in the social services realm of things, and how there were barriers that a lot of the clients face, whether it was a language barrier, whether it was them not totally understanding the services that were provided, or all of the resources that they could take advantage of. So it started very early on, even in travels with my mother, who is a avid educator and administrator, who's now retired in the social services realm. Then I got into the nursing aspect of it, and I worked some time in the in the field of nursing. And then I saw that during the care of the patients and things that uh, there wasn't a lot of time to really listen to them. There were a lot of time constraints, and I just felt that how would it be if they were to come into an environment where they had time to express how they felt, the goals that they had, and what they wanted to achieve, and also get connected to services that was in that was specifically tailored for them, and then be educated on how they could best use these services.
Okay. Okay. So you just mentioned that having a mom being an avid educator, what does that look like now? Like, did she know you were kind of going to walk in those footsteps? Like, what does that look like? Because, you know, as entrepreneurs, and me being a mentee to, a mentor to business owners and entrepreneurs, I hear a lot that they don't have that support system. You know, parents didn't support them. They wanted them to be lawyers and doctors and the everyday norm. But having a mom who understands the field that you walk in, what does that look like?
Well, my mom knew early on that I was very curious. I always asked a lot of questions. I literally drove my mom probably crazy because I was her inquisitive child. If there was a question, I kept her out. I kept her up, and you might as well say out. She even paid me sometime $1 just to be quiet because I would ask her so many questions. So she knew. I don't think she exactly knew what what direction I was going to go in, but she did know whatever I decided to do that I would be very intentional about it. I
Okay.
would at the time in my younger years, I would ask questions, so she knew that I would thoroughly research it. So she gave me that time to explore things that I wanted to do. And initially, I really didn't know. I started out um, in nursing, but then I felt that I wanted to know more about the business side of things. I was in meetings and meeting with shareholders, stakeholders, and things, and a lot of the terminology I just didn't know. I didn't know a lot of the financial things that I needed to know as well, and the processes that go along with business. So I am so glad that I had a mother and a father that always encouraged me to read. He would always send me a book or an article. I remember early on of my mom and my dad sitting me down with at that time they had these black encyclopedias.
Yes.
And one of the persons that I looked up was Shirley Chisholm. And I was just so inspired by Shirley Chisholm and her role in running for president, and all that she did, and how bold she was in Congress, and how outspoken that she was. And if there was anything that she didn't know, she would ask questions about it. And she was very upfront about it and brazen, but at the same time, she had grace and poise about the way she went about things. So early on, I think that I was set up for success.
Okay, nice. I like that answer. Because again, like I said, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs and people who are starting businesses and are in business, you know, they walk this entrepreneurship journey alone and expect so much from community because they didn't have that foundation to help them build and stand on that entrepreneurship journey. Um, if someone is if someone watching tonight or in the community is inspired to do what it is that you're doing, one, where would they begin, and two, what advice would you give them?
The first thing I would say is research the market that you plan on starting a business in. So for me, it was starting a women's health network. I had to do a analysis of the companies and the competitors that were around me because there is there's always going to be some barriers of entry. So you need to do a assessment of the companies. You need to do, I would say, a SWOT analysis,
Mm-hmm.
have a business plan, and it may not be within that business plan. You need to have a mission, a vision, and a budget. And it may not be something funds that you have write off, but you can propose a budget within the next 2 years. I would say start off with the first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and even 5 years. The next thing that I would recommend is getting a mentor. Find someone that's already in the business and actually doing some research the company that they have, and then ask them what are some of the challenges that they have experienced. Ask them if you could shadow them for a week, and never estimate the opportunities that you can get from volunteering. I volunteered many hours, and I was not paid at all, but I was paid in my experiences and the opportunities that they brought me. And because of that, I was able to meet people and incorporate them and establish memorandums of agreements early on, and bring these people into my network to serve the clients. Some of the clients go to our community partners such as Campbell Health Solutions that provides HIV testing and counseling and case management as well, PrEP services as well. And then also the Caridad Center services a lot of our clients that are immigrants, a lot of those clients that are coming here on the I-94 and Biden programs from U.S. Customs. We're able to service them. So we don't have to have it all. We don't have to provide all of these services, but we can connect with other people. So I would always say take advantage of opportunities for networking.
I love the fact that you mentioned it. I love the fact that you mentioned seizing the opportunities of volunteering and and learning. And like you said, you wasn't paid, but you were paid in experience. You were paid in knowledge. And I think that a lot of times people, pass that opportunity up because they want to be paid rather than seeking the knowledge and information that is given in within those experiences and being able to gain so much from volunteering and being in those spaces, although you're not being paid. That's a stepping stone and leverage for your business in so many ways. So I definitely agree with that. And like you said, just use mentorship is big, and I think a lot of people, let their pride get in the way to as far as like asking questions and wanting to shadow someone because everybody, they think they know everything, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So it's gonna kill them to ask for help, or it's gonna kill them to ask for a mentor, or they don't want a mentor because they feel like they can do everything on their own, or 9 out of 10 times they're just afraid to ask for help. Um, so
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it starts right there. You're being interviewed right when you introduce yourself. I remember taking a business class at Lynn University because I got my MBA in healthcare management from Lynn University.
nice.
And they asked us, when does the interview start? You're actually being interviewed at every interaction that you have with people. That's when your interview starts. So when I introduced myself and told them that I have an interest in healthcare management, health equity, and I just had a thirst for knowledge. I wanted to know more. I wanted to seize the opportunity to glean what I could learn, and I'm willing to help out anyway. I also gave them my resume so they can see on where I could build on my experience and what I could offer them as well.
Mm-hmm.
The interview started there, and that's where they got a glimpse into um, my passion, my character, and they were able to see by some of my past efforts and some of the people who vetted for me my work ethic.
Okay, absolutely. The minute we open our mouths is when our interview starts. So I definitely agree with that. So right now, Wynn is located in Palm Beach County, just in Palm Beach County.
Winna PBC is located at 401 North Rosemary Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida, um, 33401, and that is an in Cityside Suites.
Okay.
That community is historic for Black-owned businesses. We're in a center that has been there for many years, and that is where our corporate office that's where our corporate office is, and we have a high traffic flow there.
Okay.
And then also we share space, and I'm so grateful to Campbell Health Solutions, who was one of my mentors. Richardo Jackson um, was actually one of my mentors in the past years, and just gave me so many gems. And what I liked about him is that he gave me a lot of constructive criticism. So we also share office space on certain days by appointment. We can see clients there, and that's on Palm Beach Lakes at Campbell Health Solutions.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. And I love the fact that you talk about foot traffic and a heavy flow, because I think 9 out of 10 times when people are in business and they are looking for, or if they have a physical location, right? Sometimes they get wrapped up in where it is that they forget the main part is being in a location where there is heavy flow and extreme
Mhm.
traffic, because 9 out of 10 times that's where your clients is going to come from, that's where your foot traffic comes from. So that is major key. um so what I have another question. So what inspires you, what keeps you motivated, what keeps you going to wake up every day and drive this passion into the community and all that you're doing for it?
It is the positive outcomes that I hear from the clients themselves. At the end of the day, behind those stories are people and their experiences. I get to hear my clients' laughter. I get to hear them when they cry, their worries, their struggles, things that they have overcome, and then how they have benefited from connecting with the services that we provided. And a simple thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. And it's really something else when you connect with someone and they just break down in tears right before you, because now they finally feel that they're in a safe
Safe place.
space to speak,
Hmm.
and no one is rushing them, no one is judging them,
Hmm.
and just giving them that space to listen with intent, all of that, and then hearing the positive outcomes and then how they in turn teach their families. That really motivates me.
Wow. Nice. Okay. So that's huge motivation. So being in this field, I know sometimes some people may think that it's a male dominated or whatever. But being a black woman in your field, do you feel like you experience like stigmas or roadblocks, or what does that look like being a black woman in business? What does that look like on a day-to-day basis for you?
Well, it looks like well, you definitely have to dot all of your I's, cross all of your T's, and you need to be on point with everything that you do. And that comes from managing contracts, making sure that you follow all of the rules and regulations that comes with having a business, having your policies intact, having the proper um, licenses, permits, insurances to keep you bonded, and then also your reputation is key.
Mhm.
Keeping that solid, keeping a your employees that you have, having regular meetings with them so that they stay committed and
Mhm.
know the mission and values, and having good ethics. That's what it looks like. There is no margin for error in that sense, although some things are going to be trial and error that you learn as you go. But you
Right.
need to have a outstanding excuse me, you need to have an outstanding reputation. That's what it looks like, where um, in certain spaces people may be more forgiving of people in certain spaces, but when it comes to black businesses, your reputation and the trust that you have within the community is everything. You need to take care of your business. That needs to be your baby, and you need to evaluate things, processes on a continuous basis for improvements.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Now, being so hands-on in the community and doing all that you do, and trying, we all have to find balance, right? So, is it a hard balance to separate regular Wanda from Wanda of PBC? Like, what does that look like? Because that, I know working in the community can get a little crazy, and people, clients don't know how to turn that off and on. So, what does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis? Like battle, like juggling the two.
You know, in the past, it was it was very difficult. I would overextend myself. I would overextend myself and not know exactly how to have those boundaries so that I can cut things off and have that time for self care. But I have learned that not only do I want to do it, not only do I need to do it, but it is vital for
Hmm.
my own mental health and for my own self-care in general, because if I'm not my best self, then I'm really doing this disservice. I'm
Hmm.
doing a disservice to myself, the people that I serve, in my family, right? Because if I'm teaching about preventative care, I need to also follow that as well, and incorporate that into my life. So now I take my time. I just got a facial.
Well, you look good.
Thank you. Thank you. I take my time. I exercise, whether it's walking, Pilates, or yoga, or even I've gotten into mindfulness.
Okay.
You know, thinking positive, and saying positive affirmations and meditating, just taking that time out for myself. And that involves having boundaries, and telling people no. Sometimes you cannot do it, and if you can't do it effectively, it's best not to do it at
To do
all.
it at all. Absolutely. I agree with that. I actually joined Pilates too. I actually love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it too, as far as flexibility and strength. I didn't think that, Pilates was that rigorous, but I do see a lot of strengthening in my core now.
in the court.
Mhm.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm 6 months in. So yeah, I agree. It's a good thing. I enjoy it. Um, So before we go on to any further questions, I just want everybody to know the viewers tonight that tonight's show is sponsored by Campbell Health Solutions, which is located on Palm Beach Lakes and Broward as well. The Palm Beach location is 2011 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, Suite 201, where they provide free health screenings such as HIV testing, STD screenings, PEP services, and you can follow Instagram, TikTok, or even go to the website to make an appointment. Now we're going to jump back into these questions. So we kind of talk about a little bit of everything, where you started, what motivates you, having an amazing support system, work-life balance, separating the two, and sometimes saying no, because that also entails separating the two. Um, we spoke about your role models. What's next? What's next for the brand, for the company? What's next for you? Is there, expansion out of Palm Beach? Like, what's next?
What is next is we have two community partners now. One of them is Osseo Strong, and Osseo Strong is a franchise that sees clients where they actually strengthen bone density. So they use state of the art equipment and machines that trigger bone growth and increases bone density. And they also have, they use, I believe it's red light therapy as well, and they have coaches there. So it's a new venture that we have with them that can broaden our reach, also bring in um, clients of from different areas as well. Because one of our main focuses is health equity. We want to make sure that everyone uh, has resources, that they're able to get the best care, and it's fair for everyone across the board. We also have another community partner, and it is Bella Med Spa, and that is in Wellington. And there, our clients can treat themselves to self care and get those IV therapy, whether it's vitamin C, glutathione for detoxification, and also get skincare and also weight management as well. And then there's our partner that we've had for some time with Gift Me Health with Dr. Ken Law, who really educates clients on a plant-based diet, lifestyle medicine, as she has it. I am also a client of Dr. Ken Law as well. And because of that, following her plant-based diet, I have lost over 60 pounds.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
it's living the life too. It's not just um, talking to people, but it's also living the life. And we want to expand, um, I would say, in North Florida. We have South Florida, but we want to really get a firm client base within North Florida as well.
Okay. Okay, I like that. And yes, like you said, it's a lifestyle, and you just have to stick to it. You have to be all in. Um, so we gave advice to the viewers watching if they wanted to start a business, or whether it was, your career path, or whichever they choose. Um, how Tell us a time where you had to overcome like fear and doubt. Was there any situation where you doubted yourself, or you doubted a move that you were making, and how did you overcome that?
I would say during the pandemic, there was an economic downturn. during the pandemic. And at that time, businesses really weren't sure whether they were going to be able to maintain their client base and remain open, not alone as with a lot of people being on quarantine. A lot of the funds weren't coming in or the monies weren't coming in. So it was really a time of just, you really didn't know how things were going to turn out. But I will tell you, because we had a established base that gained a relationship and was able to build a relationship with us through the many years since 2015, we were able to sustain, and our call team actually, working from home, actually called our clients to do well-being checks to see how they were doing, to educate them on these are some resources that may have water, or some of the goods that you need, still connecting them. I know the elderly was a large part of our concern, and those people dealing with disabilities, and persons needing medications for diabetes and high blood pressure, and also our moms that were expecting as well. So we were able to maintain contact. Um, we were able to see as many clients as we could via telehealth, but it really took some evaluating, and again doing another SWOT analysis to see where our strengths and weaknesses were, some of the opportunities and threats were to maintain and be sustainable.
Wow. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. And like you said, having, you know, a wide range, like a community of a big range, and doing, you having your call center call and do those checks. That's a lot. I don't think a lot of people thought about that. I just they were so worried and focused on, sustaining and staying afloat during that time, that I don't think they had time to even think about staying and reach that way, and staying connected to the community, which you did. Um, well, I think that sums up our questions. I want to thank you for being here tonight. But before we go, I want you to tell our viewers where and how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, they can get in contact with me by simply calling and leaving a message at 561-510-0971. They can also send an email to winnapbc@gmail.com. They can also contact one of our community providers, Campbell Health Solutions, who we work with very closely, and contact them as well. They can also go to WhenOFPBC.com, look for the information there, and contact us that way.
Okay, that
Mhm.
sounds good. Well, it was a pleasure having you tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.